Good morning, YouTube, Facebook. Welcome to the end of January. This is our last Friday live hangout for the month of January. And we have finished running all of our numbers and stats for 2022, which has been a month-long journey because, well, we have businesses to run in between. And we had to put away holiday decorations and so much going on in January. But today we have some great things that we're tracking going into 2023 based off of our Google spreadsheet from 2022 and what we learned from it and how we're going to track going into 2023, because each year we want to make our businesses better, more efficient, our tracking more streamlined. And then after we cover that, which shouldn't take too long, we're going to jump into the very fun features of AI that are out there and the Chrome extensions available and just how freaking cool it is. So good morning, Lucy. How are you today?
I am one of those days where you wake up late and like everything is just chasing you so far, and it's only 8 o'clock in the morning. But I am doing good. And one of the things going into every new year is I like to explore just some sort of new software, or try to see if something will help me out business wise. And this last year was Feedback 5. I did 3 months of it. It did what it did. I decided not to continue on with them, but that was last year's. This new year coming in, I signed up for Calendarly to help with calendar management and just appointments and stuff, which has been really nice so far. Pretty easy to use. I'm liking it so far. And then the other one we're super excited about is using all these AI stuff to streamline everything we do in business, whether that's writing customer emails or bullet points or whatnot. We will be diving into this extremely in our bundle groups, because we will be streamlining using it to basically write our listings. So in the past, a lot of us have hired VAs or hired out for logo making, for bullet points, for content, whether that's vlog or bullets or whatever. And I think AI is going to take that over. So I am excited about this, even though I am fighting with my robot at home. I can't say her name. We all know her name starts with an A, ends with a
A.
I'm fighting with her at home. So I have mixed feelings about robots.
And I want to say, before you jump into our Google spreadsheet that you, of course, have programmed and laid out for the both of us to use, because look, I don't know how to program a Google sheet. Did you know, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but I figured it out the other day, that AI can also give you the Google Sheet formula to put in the prompt of what you want it to do. So if you're not sure of the formula that you want your Google Sheet to give you the outcome that you're wanting, you can ask AI.
That is going to be helpful. Yes. So now I am going to be presenting here, and I pulled basically my goals and what we tracked and some of my numbers. And I have to say that after working on it this week, I may not have calculated everything exact. And some of my calculations may be different than yours, but the intent of sharing what we're pulling and what we're looking at is so that you can look at your own business, see what your low-hanging fruit is, what you need to improve upon. Are you kind of close to standard, etc.? And most of my numbers are pretty on par with said calculations. It's just like if you pull your total sales from Inventory Lab, it's going to differ from Amazon slightly because of how they pull that data. So don't sit here and worry about to the finite point. The point is to pull your data, analyze your data, see where your low-hanging fruit is. Mine was advertising and storage fees. I'll be upfront. That was the main takeaway. I looked at it and went, oh my gosh, I could really improve. If I improved my storage fees and my advertising costs, then I could, have better numbers next year. So do I need that down to the penny? No. Do I need it like a general idea? Absolutely. So we're going to show you.
We had a great time talking yesterday. It was like really Lucy and I, we had our meeting yesterday between the two of us based off of the data that we pulled, and it's like, wow, when you see the picture right in front of you, boy, does it paint a story. And we came up with some ideas based off of those, and it was really fun.
Yes, and I use a combination, and I'll show you exactly what I'm pulling from what. So if you're using different software, you're going to have to pull differently than me, but I use Inventory Lab, QuickBooks, and Google Sheets. So some of the stuff I calculate manually, and I'll show you what that is, and then some of the stuff my CPA does through QuickBooks. So I pull those numbers at the end of the year, and I know how she pulls those numbers or what goes into those numbers. And then obviously Inventory Lab, mine is going to be different because I use the QuickBooks Inventory Lab scenario. There we go. All right, so I wanted to just highlight my January process for those that are like, oh my God, what do I do? Where do I start? And you don't have to do it in January. In fact, there's a guy out there that I was kind of intrigued by, but he does no resolutions, no changes in January because it stresses him out. And that is fine too. But whenever you do this, this is kind of my system. First, I'm going to pull all my numbers, get them all listed out, figure out what they are. Sometimes this is stuff we've been working on all month. So you want to know your average sales price, your average profit per item, your average fees, cost of goods, your return analysis, and you're going to want to pull sales reports by ASIN category in store. At least that's what I want. Then I want to also write out my accomplishments for the year. I want to go through and analyze the numbers. That's kind of what I did with Tina yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, that was yesterday that we spoke. We've been kind of going back and forth
Yeah,
all week, but yeah, we really narrowed it down yesterday. In fact, my missing entries I was able to put in this morning. So.
perfect. And then I always rearrange my office and or work area or organize an area of trouble. Like that's a good time to pull things out, get it all cleaned up, get it reorganized, your poly bags, your boxes. We rearranged our packing areas, and I set one of my packers up to do more of the computer work so she can enter batches. We set her up her own little computer area. I let her get a couple things at the Dollar Tree to make her, she got like a calendar and a little pencil holder and stuff to kind of spruce up her area and make it her own. And then we're going to write out our goals and use the SMART method. So still working on that. And then the roadmap, I have a whiteboard that I hung in front of my computer right there. And I wrote basically all my goals that's on this spreadsheet so I can have it right in front of me and keep my mind, because when I'm going through and I'm like deciding which replens to keep, I need to stay focused on my goal. And if one of my goals is to source higher profitable items, when I'm looking at replens from a store, and let's say it has 5 replens, one makes me $1 and one makes me 5, I need to cut that one that only makes me $1 and find more that make me 5. So
And I do want to point out that as you guys are also gathering your numbers for your taxes, I mean, this went simultaneously for me, which is why it took me all week to to finalize these numbers, because I'm also simultaneously plugging in to the spreadsheet for the CPA the numbers that he needs, not only for my business taxes but also my personal taxes. And then I'm also messaging my bookkeeper. It's like there's a lot of tabs and a lot of steps going on to get this done. But oh my God, does it give you peace of mind to have this done? And it gives you power of like with a concrete plan going into 2023.
yep. I haven't quite got my plan written out, Tina. I'm not concrete yet. Now, last year, and I'm not going to hash out and show you last year's stuff, but this new sheet going forward is a reiteration from last year. So the sheet did work, but it was overly complicated. And I just felt like we were tracking some things that didn't really need to be tracked. I need things simple, keep it simple, stupid. And what I care about is how much stuff we're getting out the door. Like, at the end of the day, if I want to get 1,000 items out the door every week, I need to track how many we're doing. So this is this week's. We're not quite done with this week, but I'm only at 42% of my goal. And, obviously my goal is set up here, so I don't expect to knock it out of the park day one, but you need to be on track and see where your numbers are. This also goes into my labor analysis and stuff. So if I know that we sent out 796 items and I paid X amount for labor, then I can do my labor calculations and see what it costs me per item to be shipped out. And that goes back into my, when I go purchasing, if I know it's going to cost me whatever to ship out, then I need to take that into account. Now, this is all from Inventory Lab. Every batch, when you get done with your batch and it gives you those numbers at the bottom, my staff copy and paste it into the cells. So these cells look like an equal sign, and then we put in the batch and then a plus and then the next batch and then plus and the next batch. So we can easily go in there and see, okay, we got whatever 4 shipments out this week, and these was how it broke down. It just gives you a good analysis. I've been using this kind of format for a few years, and I really do like it. So if something's working, keep it.
When it keeps you accountable to yourself when you're seeing like, okay, this is what I did this week. I really enjoy plugging in my numbers into the Google Sheet.
Yep. And then I simply created this over here that auto calculates based on month, and I color coded these just so I could visually break out the months on what I wanted to do. And since my staff work like Monday through Friday, that's how my weeks have to run, and that's how I did it. So if you run differently, then go ahead and set up differently. The downsides of this is like February has 5 weeks instead, and maybe this week should have gone on to March, maybe this week should have gone on to January. It's not perfect by any means. The only other thing that I am thinking about doing is if we have anomaly, like I'm going to be at ASD, so maybe putting that as a note or a comment on this sheet, because sometimes I go back and it's like 6 months, why was that week so crummy? Oh yeah, that was the week that that we had COVID and everybody was out sick or whatever. This week has been one of those. We've had somebody out sick all week, so I know my numbers are going to suck because we're down a man. So anyhow, set up to your however you want. Briefly wrote out my goals, and these are, the big picture goals, and then I got to go and make them into SMART goals, because it's easy to say to set intentions on a daily basis. Okay, well, what does that look like? I put them up on my board here, and every morning when I come in, I want to read out loud 5 of those intentions, or wake up and do a manifestation, daily meditation type of video. Or if you want more sales, that's going to be broken down to how much do you get out the door is going to result in your sales, right? Focusing on bundles. Maybe you need to schedule a day during your week to just work on clearing out old inventory, or fixing inventory, or making bundles, or sourcing bundles, or reading catalogs. I don't know, whatever it is, we've got to go into these goals and then explain how you're going to do them. You need to have SMART goals, which was, I can't remember what SMART stands for. Measurable, sustainable, obtainable, time. I can't remember all of the acronym, but I do use that one. Here is the numbers that I pulled when I say I'm going to go pull my numbers for analysis. This is what I grabbed mostly from Inventory Lab, as you can see. Did a return analysis. This is my returns by category. And again, I share my numbers so that you can, I don't want to say compare yourself to me, but if you're selling apparel and you have a 60% return rate and you see that, okay, mine is 11%, then maybe that's something you need to look at. And vice versa. Maybe you have a 5% return rate on apparel. Well, you're knocking it out of the park, right? But if you never know kind of what other people are doing, then it's hard. And that's what I did when I first started, was kind of trying to poke around and see what other people that do similar to me, what are their numbers? Am I close to that? Is it on par with industry standards? Let's move on. Next thing I did was I wrote down all of my incoming monies, all of my Amazon payouts, and these I tracked manually all last year from June until December. And then because I moved in my warehouse last year, I wanted to see what my big expenses were broken down on average so that I could use these forecasting going forward. So yours is going to, again, look different, but figure out where your incomes are, where your expenses are, so that you know going forward, if you're going to bring on more expense, rent, labor, etc., you know kind of where you need to be for forecasting purposes. And then let's see here, I broke down my income goals, what my current average was, what I want to beef it up to. These are kind of my big streams of well, Amazon's 95% still, so take it with a grain of salt. But if you want to build out, a YouTube channel or bundles or crypto or whatever you want to build out, put that in there. And
Yeah. And the
then,
only way mine look different than Lucy's is I don't have YouTube income, but I do have eBay and Etsy income. So when
mhm.
you guys are pausing this video, if you think you want to also track exactly like this and want to type these out for yourself, don't forget to think of your other streams of income that you also have that may differ.
Right. And maybe you want to branch out this year. Maybe you're not doing eBay right now, but you're kind of interested in it. Then go ahead and put it in and, make a goal for yourself. Maybe it's $50 a month or $100 a month. Then I put on here that if Amazon takes 65% of your sales, which is high, I'm going to say this is high right now. And I like to rough up numbers on the high side. This is what my take home would be versus sales. So I like breaking that down and playing with those numbers. And this is sometimes you just got to throw a dart out there and then say, okay, well, if I'm working with these numbers, what does that mean at the end of the day? How much money I'm bringing home and stuff. So anyhow, I was playing with that. That's why that's in there. And then I broke it down by what does that mean sales per day and take home per day. So with this scenario of Amazon taking 65%, which again, if they take 40% of your income, that's great. If they take 50%, use that number. You can calculate however you want. Then that means I need to hit 1,666, which we thought was a bad number to calculate. Maybe we need to change that a bit, but and then that means I'd be taking home $583 per day out of that amount of sales. So just playing around with numbers. And at the end of the day, that means I need to get 800 out. And if I beef it up to 80,000 in sales, that means I need to get about 1,300 out on a weekly basis. All right, these are my KPIs. This is what's on my whiteboard. And unfortunately, I have terrible handwriting, and so it looks terrible. That's why I do sheets. But these are all the things that I want to track going into 2023. I think yours was the same, Tina, except for labor, right?
Right. I could consider labor my own pay,
Yeah.
like what I'm paying myself. And that could be something that I could track, like, would it be more beneficial for me to pay a packer or not? But I don't feel that it is currently necessary as my husband and I work together. So that kind of eliminates needing to hire a packer.
Yes. If you just, make your husband work for you and then you don't have to hire him. I love it. Yeah. When I was looking at either going to a third party packing center or going warehouse, that's what I was tracking. Now, I have tracked my labor and it's definitely cheaper to pack my own items, but then once you factor in all the rent and expenses to go along with the warehouse, that's my next thing is to really do a deep dive into that to see what the difference is. So anyhow, I put down here my inventory value at Amazon is important to me. My inventory value at the warehouse is important. And then I can add in my cash and kind of get a value of my company, which is important to me. What else is on here? Cost of goods spent. I want to kind of track that. How much I'm spending per month is still important. Some are the same that I had last year. Some I added in as new, but keeping it all tidy in this spreadsheet is going to be nice. All right, this is where I pulled from my P&L. I brought it home. It's not on my desk anymore, but I literally printed out my P&L for the entire year from QuickBooks. And I know my accountant is not completely done with it. So I knew there was a few things that needed to be completed. She was like 99.9% done with it. Anyhow, pulled my total sales. I wanted to know all of my profit, my Amazon fees, the gray areas where I added in my own calculation. And my rough calculation for my take home is 50%. So 50% of my sales is what I'm going to get. And then I did this one again. I'm not sure. I wrote out how I calculated it. So if I get more educated on how to calculate that better, then I can go back and do corrections and whatnot. From Amazon, I pulled my total items sold and I calculated out my labor. It works out to 87 cents per item. when I'm sending it in, and then the item sold, it's roughly costing me about $1. And my sell through is roughly 87.7%. Now, Tina's was much higher, so she does better on the sell through, but that is definitely another low hanging fruit. Is if I have, what is that, like 12%? If I have 12% of my inventory is not selling through fast enough, that's absolutely a point that I can do better at. I left in my rent so you can see how much my warehouse cost me this year. Good Lord. I'm still on the fence if I am I love my space, don't get me wrong. But do I love this price tag? No. So that's something that I'm still debating whether it was worth it or not worth it. So anyhow. So my low hanging fruit, and I just started jotting them down, was advertising, storage fees. I can sell higher priced items, more items to send in, higher profit per item. And then, yeah, this is the last slide. This I went through and printed out. So this is going on my board to replace the actions when I'm blocking out my time. I want to be just very focused. I went through all of my activities that I do, and I did do a video separate on this, so you can feel free to watch those. But if you want more in-depth on the Eisenhower method and what we did, anyhow, jotted them down so I can, again, keep focused. Maybe I cut out some things that I don't really need to do. And the green are money-making activities. So I wanted to highlight pretty much when I sit down at work, I want to work on green items, period. I don't like, doing QuickBooks and doing payroll. I got to pay my staff. That's important, right? But I really need to spend at
You want
least,
to accomplish the money making tasks first. And then
yes,
everything after that that needs to get done can get done after we've done the things that make us money.
exactly. And or maybe they need to be done on your off work time, not your work time. I don't know. Or outsourced, just take a look at your tasks and see what you're doing. And if your tasks don't line up to meeting your goals, take a hard look at those tasks and see what's going on with them and where your time is being spent. I've done that before where you track your day and you track your time, but most of the time I know where I spent my day. Did I spend it doing BS and doing something that just felt good and felt busy, or did I actually get things done?
Yeah, so with that being said, we encourage all of you to make your own Google Sheet. And these would be good things that you could practice in your own business. And as you're getting your numbers together for taxes, it's such a great time to put something like this together to see your story. And this will probably be the last time we really are talking about running these numbers because we're finally done with it. And we hope you guys have found any of this useful over the last few weeks of discussing this. And we may revisit it again after, the first quarter is over.
Well, I revisit in June. That's
Yeah.
when I will look in this, and I don't do any, like June is the good time to see what did you do the last 6 months? Was it working? Is it in the right direction? But I won't be overhauling my sheet and redoing my Google
Right.
stuff. It's like that's set for the year.
That's set for the year. Yeah.
And yeah, unless of anything, I don't know. I don't anticipate, because I've been doing it for so long, like there'll be minor tweaks, but there's not going to be anything major.
And
All
now
right.
we can dive into the stuff that's super fun. Now that
Yes.
business is over, let's dive into the
Business
fun
time.
activities.
So Tina put together a bunch of, this is all what extends from Tina's work, which is amazing. But there is this Chrome extension. Did you put any of this in the the description below?
I believe so, but I'm happy to throw it in right now.
Perfect.
So the one is I just found out about it just this morning, and that is from the Chrome web store. It's called AIPRM for Chat GPT. I'm not sure what it's AI, but I'm not sure what the PRM portion of it stands for. But if you are interested in using Chat GPT and these features, I'm going to give you this Chrome extension. And then I will also give you the extension if you haven't already signed up for it. you can for the Chat GPT, and I'm going to give the link here also in our chat. And the account is free to use for both of these. And it's such a powerful tool for more than just using it for Amazon. Bloggers can use it to help them write articles. You can use it to help you get creative ideas for your bullet points or your product listings. Certainly don't copy any of this stuff verbatim. As it itself will tell you that it's not perfect results. And I cannot remember when their data finished, but I want to say it's like from 2021. So they don't even, the AI doesn't even have data for last year. So keep that in mind. And it really pulls things just from all over the internet. But you can use this to pull keywords and help you create images. If you're a t-shirt designer, you just then, of course, would have to be careful in using images that they are not copyrighted images. But it is a very, very fun tool. And I guess it can be a bad tool for teenagers that want to use it to write their school book reports.
So, interesting backstory on the Chat GPTX, which came out at the end of November last year. So, it's just starting to get integrated, but the people behind it, and I listened to it. I don't remember where I listened to it from, but they were basically tired of the Googles of the world being really tight with their scripting and their AI proprietary information. So they wanted to have this open sourced to have it for everybody, because they felt that it just needs to be for everybody, and it needs to stop being so like just for the bigwigs out there, which is neat. So I really love that. We're a big proponent of pretty much open sourcing for a lot of things. I feel that it helps our society more than closed sourcing, but
Yes.
anyhow.
And the AIPRM for ChatGPT, if you go to the Chrome Web Store, they do have a link to the YouTube video that they have for you in how to utilize it. It is just so full of information and capabilities. It's too much to talk about in one show.
I have to say, can I do a side story?
Absolutely.
Okay, I've been fighting with PayPal for like 2 months now, right? Because Tina and I, we were trying to set up a joint PayPal. It's just not going well. But anyhow, I called the PayPal lady, the customer support, about 2 or 3 times trying to figure out why PayPal wasn't working with Ally Bank. And Ally Bank is a completely online bank. I don't know. Anyhow, couldn't figure it out. They could not figure it out because PayPal people are like worsely trained than seller support. Finally went to the PayPal chat bot and was like, why don't you work with Ally? And they were like, we don't work with solely online banks. We're not going to work with them. Why couldn't any of the 3 reps tell me that? Why did I have to go to the robot? The robots are smarter than the reps there. So my next problem with them, I might just go straight to the robot, because I'm tired of dealing with the idiots over at their help section that don't help. Anyhow, all right. So where do I go from this? Because I have not played it. I have not.
You haven't played?
I haven't played.
So,
What
so it gives you some examples of what it can do, explain quantum computing in simple terms. So you can just have fun and ask it things like that. Just like how you see below, how it says, how do I make an HTTP request in JavaScript? You can also ask it how to do the Google coding. And what you do is over there to the left side, you click on New Chat.
Ooh, so just so you all know, what I did was I went here and there was like a try or sign up, and you did have to put in your email, and then I had to verify my email really quick. You had to put in your name, and you had to do a phone number and get an OTP code. So that is the only things required from it, and I'm okay with that information being there. And then this is the page you start at. So that's the only parts that I have done before. So I'm going to click New Chat, right? Maybe.
Yep.
Is it
Let me
supposed
pull
to
up this screen. Yeah, if it's not opening something, I think you can if that box below will work that says explain quantum down there in at the very, very bottom where it has the search bar.
You just refresh.
Yeah, like down in that little bar at the very bottom of your screen.
Yeah, I clicked. I'm not.
No, the very, very bottom. Go
Oh, I
down
see.
further,
Okay.
further. Yeah. In there, type something. It's going to give you an answer because you chose the question that was already preloaded.
Gotcha. Okay.
So depending on how long this answer
I'm gonna.
is, there you
I'm
go.
stopping. I'm
So
stopping.
down below there, you could ask it, can you search the internet for wholesale suppliers for um, toys, groceries, any category, right, that we sell on? Now, I don't know what it's going to give us, but we can just see. And this may be a way to, oh, it doesn't have the capability. Oh,
Oh,
look, it gave us some. Now, Alibaba, we know about. ThomasNet.com, I know, is a resource for factories and manufacturers that are in the United States. Top 10 Wholesale and Wholesale Central, I know of. They are always have a booth available at ASD. But, this may be a way to find some wholesale accounts. I mean, this is one idea to ask the chat.
there we go.
Now, I know Coal Imports, I know Dollar Days, Fun Express, a lot of these suppliers I know, but some of you out there may not know these. I've never heard of Harmony Business Supplies. That's a new one. Tonk
Yo.
Toys. Look, we've
Yep.
we've used Tonk Toys before. Look, some of these companies I've never heard of. WRK Wholesale, never heard of them. So certainly these are sites that you could maybe check out. Maybe you'll find yourself a wholesale supplier.
All right, you got another one for me? What's another?
Let's see well, let's try the Google. Is there anything in Google Sheets that would be a normal computing thing that you might have trouble with? You could ask it the formula for that.
What was the one that there was one that I was struggling with? It was. Hold on, let me go back up there. What sheet was it? Gross profits. I wanted to see if I was calculating gross profits. I think I was. I'm in accounting 202. I'm learning. To calculate gross profits, you'll need a list of your revenue and cost of goods. Then you can use the following: sum revenue minus sum cost of goods. And then I thought there was dividing. Wow, it's very detailed. This is amazing. I might have to use it in
Exactly.
school.
It's very, very good. So for those of you who are not very good at Google Sheets, well, here you go.
Here it is. I think that's what I used, but now I'm not. I think it is. Okay, hold on.
So, any of our viewers, do you have a question that you would like us to ask Chat GPT? Crystal Ramirez says that she uses Chat GPT for customer email responses because it's so professional. And, obviously you're going to want to proofread it. But yeah, if you're somebody who doesn't really have a way with words, and for some people, maybe English is your second language and you feel a little bit like, my grammar isn't so great when I'm typing a response. It could help. It could help you there as well.
I copied and pasted so I can go back and fix. I'm pretty sure I did revenue minus cost of goods minus revenue, but I'm 99% sure.
Right. And
Thank
of
you for
course, you would
reaching
have
out.
to be more specific in your customer question. I know we're just doing that for fun. But if you had a customer that said, what you sent me was dirty and had a hole in it, and I'm going to report you to Amazon, or whatever, some type of you could literally copy and paste their message to you into Chat GPT and ask for a professional reply. And you could be, that sounds compassionate, or that sounds funny, or that sounds, and they will write it in the tone that you are suggesting.
KDP ideas, absolutely, Nate.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
I wasn't asking
Turn
you.
her off. So here we go for a wholesale letter.
Yeah, so now if you have found a wholesale account and company and you want to apply, you could have it help you write out a nice template to send to them. That's a great idea. For now, it's free, and I imagine just like with Keepa and other tools that we have used, it will be free for quite some time until it's not.
I said letter to break up with my boyfriend. I am sorry, but as an AI
Yes.
model, I am not able to assist you with this request as it is a personal matter, and there's no way for me to know the context of your relationship. I recommend sitting down with your partner, having an open and honest conversation about how you're feeling
Well,
and what
look,
you need.
it's a therapist as well.
Oh my God. That is awesome. That is awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, Crystal, you can. Crystal says you can revise the answers over and over until it's perfectly how you like it.
Here we go. Let's see if it gives me bullet points.
Yeah, and we did something very similar with this in our bundle group when I was first playing with the AI. Um, so if you haven't joined us in bundles, we do some fun stuff like this within our group as well. But today we decided to talk about Chat GPT with all of you on our main channels because it's trending, it's fun, and it can be so creative. And look at all this information it gave you. And while some of these things may not really apply to your listing, you don't have to use them all. It can help you think outside the box to reword it to make sense on your own. Yes, I was going to say that is what are the top searched keywords, or what are the top search keywords for Easter Bunny, plush Easter Bunny. And then you can copy and paste all of the keywords it gives you and ask it to write you a compelling description using these keywords for Easter Bunny plush. You get the idea. So that's something that's kind of clever. And you can use this for your Etsy listings, your eBay listings. You just have to proofread. I encourage you to proofread and make sure that it makes sense.
Yeah. They are.
And you could possibly use it to help you find, you know, products. I don't know yet because I haven't played with that, but I do like the idea of asking it for the wholesale accounts. Um, Maybe you could even ask it, can you, I don't know because I haven't tried this, but if you think of something that you're wanting to purchase, maybe you could ask it, what site can I purchase? You might want to do something easy just for fun and type in Ridge's potato chips, Ruffles potato chips, and see if it will spit back stores in which you can buy this item. I don't know because I haven't tried that yet, but it could be something used for sourcing.
There's the top selling Easter candy. We got chocolate
Mm-hmm.
eggs, Peeps, Cadbury, Reese's, jelly beans, Easter chocolate bunnies, and lollipops.
Yeah, I think lollipops is the only one that jumped out that is not one that would have been the obvious to me. The other ones to me are the obvious. So it gave me now something to think outside of the box. Now I know that people are searching for Easter themed lollipops.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed lollipops myself, but interesting, interesting. Okay, do you want me to go over to the other two sites?
Yeah, I wanted to read this one here. You can buy Easter jelly beans. So you asked where you can buy it. Of course, the supermarkets. We do know this, convenience stores, online retailers, but it didn't give us specifics other than Amazon, Walmart, or Target. Specialty candy stores. So it didn't really name stores.
No, but
But
then
that
you
would have
can.
been cool if it did spit back actual stores that it is available at right now. That would be neat. There you go. Look, candywarehouse.com. I know that site.
Yep. Blair, don't order from
Yeah.
them. They're
Don't order
garbage.
from Blair. We had a horrible experience. We have ordered from them before, so don't do that. Oh Nuts, I know of that one. I believe Oh Nuts, you can even do private label things. I think it's been a while since I've been there.
Not familiar with Wholesale Club or Candy Nation.
Neither am I. So there we go. We just found two new sites. Maybe they're good, maybe they're not. I don't
They
know.
do
But how cool
Harborough.
is that?
Candy Nation does Haribo, which I know I'm ungated for it, but maybe you need an ungate, and there you go. You can find maybe something for that. Just like
And have any of you that are watching, have you even thought to ask Chat GPT these questions? And you probably have other questions that we aren't thinking of right now. Really, the possibilities are endless, but the results clearly are going to vary.
stop. I like the stop feature. Shut
Yeah.
up. He stopped. Here. Oh, it's just telling me how to do wholesale at Nike. I don't want to do that.
Well, I
But
want
you can
wholesale
get a
through Nike.
wholesale thing. I doubt they're gonna do any for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
no.
at trade shows, sometimes there's trade shows that people don't think about. I know I shared a couple of shows in our bundle group for those looking for suppliers that are not well-known trade shows. So there are a lot of trade shows that are not well known, that are not well talked about, where you can really source great products from. ASD, everybody knows about, right? So everybody that sells on Amazon is exposed to the same vendors as you. However, what about the other trade shows that are very industry specific that are hard to find online?
Yep.
And maybe Chat GPT can find some of those for you.
Can I go up now? Do you know? Is it going to clear my history, or when I log in,
You
is it
will have to, no, it will keep your history there until you delete those specific searches.
neat? Okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
cool. Oh, you
Have
can clear
anybody
your
of you watching
conversations.
tried asking it these questions? Is this a new avenue of thought to ask it? I'm just curious what you think about some of the questions we are asking it today. Um, I think it's really cool.
I think so too. I want to ask it some other questions that could get you in trouble, but I'm not going to do it here.
Not on
But I'm
YouTube.
interested in what some of the legality and what it would, because do you ever watch Dateline?
Sometimes, yes.
Yes. Sometimes my dad was on Dateline. For those that don't know, he was in homicide for like 12 years. Anyhow, we'd always make fun because some of the people they'd literally Google like where to dump a body, and then you
And
go to the
it
computer
was so
history.
easily caught. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're like, oh, so you were trying to see what's the best weapon to use. Oh, people. So anyhow, I want to, but I don't want to get in trouble either. So anyhow, what is this other stuff you're sharing with me, Miss Tina?
So I just saw these articles this morning. For Amazon sellers that I thought he did a very good job explaining it. So this was just a link to his article that he wrote, and they're very current from January this year. Some of you know Nate McAllister in the Amazon community, but he kind of broke down an article about Chat GPT. And my hunch is he probably had Chat GPT write these articles for him for his blog. But for
Yes.
those wanting to know a little bit more about it, I thought it was quite clever. I didn't read it all in full detail, but I thought, oh, this is cool. And I will say it is from his article that I learned about the Chrome extension that I shared with you all earlier, the AIPRM, which is for Chat GPT. So I need to really learn how to use that Chrome extension. I just discovered it this morning. I installed it, and I look forward to playing with it. It's just a fun thing to use. And it can be very useful if you are in a pickle as to what to do. As Crystal mentioned, how to maybe reply to a customer and you're just lacking the words for it. Hey, turn to AI and have them give you a little help.
This is neat. Keyword ideas. Give me some keyword ideas for pencil holder. Organizer.
And we've
pen,
done this.
desk, caddy. Nice. Customer support. Appeal writing.
Oh,
Ooh.
interesting. See, that is a good idea, writing appeals.
Yeah, interesting. All right. Seller performance plan summary. I don't know if I would do a POA. Well, I mean, it's again good to get some words.
Just to get some words. With all of this, you can't just go sending it in. You have to read and correct what it's spitting back to you.
What products could I bundle with an offer for pencils?
See?
Grips, art, erasers. Oh, I love that idea.
It
too.
just helps you think outside the box. And of course, then you would have to go find those sources to get those items to add to your bundle. So it's not like the work is complete for you, but it sure does help, especially the non-creative person. Some people just lack creativity and they feel like, I can't do this, I'm not creative. Well, look, let AI help you with that.
Is Nate the one that runs Hustle Buddies? Is it the same Nate?
It may be because he doesn't do much in Hustle Buddies anymore. The group kind of runs itself. He is more dedicated to affiliate marketing. Mm-hmm.
I'll look it up real quick, but I'm pretty sure it's the same Nate for Hustle
Yeah.
Buddies. But I didn't think he had a beard, so that's throwing me off.
Yeah, that's what threw me off too. But I thought it's the same Nate.
I'll
If
double
anyone
check in a minute.
knows,
But go
you
ahead
can tell
and
me.
yeah, I'll look at that. You discuss this over here.
And what am I looking at here? Oh, yeah, the prompts for business. So this is really just another article that he wrote as well. And I'm assuming he also had Chat GPT write this article. And this one is also for business owners that are actually useful. So he breaks it down into ask Chat GPT to create an AI design prompt for you. And that is for, like, let's say mine and Lucy's YouTube videos. Maybe I can't think of a good thumbnail to put on our YouTube video. I can ask it to do these things, to help me with these things. It
No,
looks
it's Nathan
like
Jackson.
Huh?
Nathan Jackson is Hustle Buddies. This is Nate.
Oh, okay.
Two different Nates. We're getting our Nates mixed up.
So I like that it says for the ads. I wonder if we could help it with ads within our Amazon accounts. It was above that. You've already scrolled past it, but that's an interesting angle too. Ask Chat GPT to give you ad creative ideas, tracking code.
This one right here?
Paid ads. Yeah, I was wondering. I think that's more for like how you run an ad on Instagram or through Facebook. But that's interesting too for those that have your own private label product that you're marketing to help you with that.
Thanks.
And none of these are perfect. It's just fun and it really is helpful.
Thank you, Crystal and Nate. Yeah. The other Nate. Oh my God. That's right. There's 3 Nates. And then I have a cousin Nate. I got too many Nates. One of my best friends is her son is named Nate.
Well, I ain't gonna say it.
Yep. It's a Nate kind of day. Spreadsheet formula.
Oh, research. Yeah, see?
Happened. Ooh. So yeah,
so
that's neat.
See how it says anything before 2021, because that's where it caps off. So it's certainly not going to help you with current events because it doesn't have access to current events, current trending products, things like that you have to do on your own.
Delete plagiarism in my text. Oh,
see, that's where it's bad for kids, and teachers are going to have a harder job deciphering whether a kid has done AI book report or their own homework?
So I have mixed feelings about that, because on one side, absolutely, I don't think anybody should be plagiarizing anything. But on the other hand, it's like, if you're smart enough to program the robot to do things and make like solutions for society, that's in of itself as well. I mean, my daughter, she did the online school for 3 years, and she's really good at going out and finding things from the internet and getting them and piecing together that information. And it's not really any different than when we used to go to the library and get the card catalog and go find the books and then highlight and write down, each of the books and put it together. It's just more efficient. It's cutting out a lot of the BS of the card catalogs and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I like outline, create an outline or a training program. I want to try that one. Which one was it? Okay. Create a just curious what it's going to spit out, because repricing items. Yep. Introduction, understanding market dynamics, pricing strategy. Okay, so now you can say create a pricing strategy.
Crystal, I see your comment that you're creative. You're just lazy. I'm creative too, and sometimes I just get tired of thinking of things. So, but you know what? Sometimes it takes creativity in what to ask the AI, right? Some people, I imagine they're going to open this up and look at it and go, I don't even know what to type to ask it. So I think that just about wraps up what I had to talk about today in the use of this tool. And for those watching later, I would love if you put in the comment section on our channels what was one of the favorite things that you typed into it, because then that's something that some of us can think to type in for ourselves, just because it's fun.
I've stumped it. It's not working.
Yeah.
It's I think I have to I boogered it up.
Well, I hope all of you watching have a great weekend. I hope that you come up with some ideas of how you can grow your business in 2023 based off 2022 numbers. I encourage you to create those spreadsheets, use Chat GPT AI to help you formulate your Google spreadsheets, and get creative using this Chat GPT in your business this year.
Yes, this is something that we are going to be using and integrating into our 2023. And this is why sometimes it's hard to set your goals, because like, this is brand new. It literally has been out for a couple of months. Everybody has been poking around with it, playing with it, trying to see how do we integrate it into your business. But if you are spending too much time creating bullet points or creating keywords or whatnot, then this is an area where you can create yourself a little SOP on how you're going to streamline your listing process, your repricing process, your whatever. And you can integrate these robots, these AI things into that to improve your business, and at the end of the day, help you accomplish your goals. And my goal might just be, find 5 ways that I can use Chat GT. What is it? Chat? I'm going to booger that up. GPT. Find 5 ways that I can integrate this into my business to be helpful. And then in June, when I go and I look back and I say, okay, well, what did I use it for? Was it just fun and like we had a good time with it, or did it actually help me with my business? And if it did, is there any way that I can expand on that to then monetize it or help me, do something better that equates to money, right? So maybe what I'm doing can then be monetized with a blog or something like that, if that's the direction of your business you want to go. So very interested in how this does things for me on a business perspective. And maybe it will save me time. Maybe it will save me money. Maybe it will make me money. I don't know yet. But we will be diving into this and doing very detailed stuff with it into our bundle group. And if you are interested in joining over there, those links should be down below, right, Tina?
I don't think I have the link to the bundles group,
Oh,
or because look, I was in a hurry to get our deal up this morning, so I did not put the bundle links to the bundle course below in the video.
there you go.
But
I popped it in there. But that
there
way,
you go.
Chat GPT, what should our outline be for our videos? We need to remember to say XYZ.
Yes.
Write that out. All right. Well, what do you got going on this weekend, Miss Tina?
Well, as soon as we're done, I'm going to quickly do my bills as I do every Friday. And then we're going to go to my uncle's for his birthday and drop off a gift and go to Dollar Tree and pick up an online order. And that's my biggest plans for the day today.
I've got an online order pickup too
Yeah.
at the Dollar Tree and a return to Walmart. And yeah, I've got other stuff too. I got to go figure out my life. So
All right, everybody, have a great weekend. And thank you for joining us on our last Friday for the month of January.
yes, have a great day, everyone.